Mr. Chairman, the chair now recognizes Ranking Member Raskin for an opening statement.
Thank you kindly, Chairwoman McClain, and Chairman Comer, also for being here for this important hearing. While the hearing itself is focused on hemp, I do think it's part of a sweeping rethinking of cannabis policy that's going on across the country. And earlier today, I'm proud to say that Congresswoman Mason and I introduced our bipartisan Cannabis Users Restoration of Eligibility Act, or the so-called CURE Act, or at least we hope people will call it the CURE Act. Our bill would remove prior marijuana use as an obstacle to people getting hired in the federal government or passing the federal security clearance process. And so it would allow for people who've been denied security clearance on the sole basis that they had once used marijuana, either legally as part of a medical marijuana or recreational marijuana state, or unlawfully in college or whatever, that these people would be able to get their security clearance reviewed again, and that no longer could be used to nullify their opportunity to be hired in the federal government. This change is imperative, and it's long overdue. I learned of the problem because of a constituent who is a distinguished scientist and doctor who was about to get hired to a sub-cabinet level post in the Biden administration, but who failed the security clearance because he accurately and faithfully reported on his security clearance form that he had used medical marijuana because of a chronic back condition. And then he was immediately disqualified, even though they had already told him they were going to offer him the job. He was told he could no longer get the job because he had told the truth about having used medical marijuana to treat a medical condition. And then when we began to look into this, there are, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who are disqualified from even being able to apply for positions they're qualified to hold, and thousands of people that we know of who've actually gone through the process and then suddenly run into the professional guillotine of a marijuana question on the security clearance form. So I want to thank Ms. Mace for her collaboration and cooperation on this bill. We look forward to moving it through this committee with the help, I hope, of Chairman Comer, who I know has asked some good questions about it, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to arrive at a good common sense bill that all Americans would be able to get behind. Now, turning back to the federal rules related to hemp and its derivatives, it's important here again that we take a common sense approach to these regulations. The FDA released a statement earlier this year explaining that current regulatory frameworks for foods and supplements are not appropriate for cannabidiol or CBD, one of the biggest hemp derivatives. The FDA explained that the regulatory frameworks may not be sufficient for managing risk and conducting appropriate oversight for CBD products. And I agree with my colleagues that we need reasonable regulation of the hemp and hemp derivative marketplace to protect consumers and to ensure that good actors in the hemp industry can grow their businesses and we can have a legitimate and flourishing market in hemp. But we need to make sure that the regulations make sense. A vast world of hemp derivatives is flourishing beyond just CBD. Among them are newly developed synthetic cannabinoids, including delta-8 THC, which can have intoxicating effects when consumed. Without regulation, companies can synthesize these intoxicants from legal hemp and evade regulatory scrutiny in federal marijuana laws, sending products to market without proper testing, labeling, or other safety precautions. Hemp derivative products can come in all sorts of different forms. They cannot be easily or always categorized simply as food or supplements. These products can be oils, tinctures, vape pens, and cigarettes, and even cosmetics and skincare. The FDA realistically cannot regulate the entire world of hemp and its derivatives without additional research authority and resources. So I hope we can work with our colleagues to figure out the proper path forward, and with the assistance of today's expert witnesses, on regulating hemp and its derivatives so that we can protect the American people and provide a more effective framework for the regulation of a potentially strong industry. I thank you, Madam Chair, and I yield back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Raskins. I'm pleased to introduce our witness panel today.